What you're about to watch are my predictions for the New York Jets in 2020. Let me know how you think they're going to do in 2020, and make sure to like and subscribe for more similar content that's coming soon.
Is it getting cold in here?
So in 2019, the New York Jets finished 7-9 in Adam Gase's first season, and it was a fairly mixed season on the whole. You know, they had good wins against the Cowboys, Steelers, and the Bills, but it was the silly losses like the Jags and the Bengals that really cost them from having a good winning record last year. And I'd say on the whole, it wasn't bad, you know, for a head coach's first season in charge, and you know, a sophomore quarterback having to adjust to a new scheme. But he actually was more productive than he was in his rookie season, so you know that can't be a bad thing. So looking towards the schedule for the New York Jets in 2020, and they've got the second hardest schedule of any team in the NFL. They obviously play the Pats and the Bills home and away, being divisional rivals, but they also go on the road to the Chiefs and the Seahawks, and they host the 49ers and the Denver Broncos, who all look to be really good teams heading into 2020. So let me know what you think in the comments now. What record do you think the New York Jets are going to finish on in 2020? And is Sam Darnold going to be the quarterback of the future? I'll talk about it in a minute. So at running back this year for the New York Jets, you've got a very, very experienced running back core. You combine Le'Veon Bell and Frank Gore, and they've got over 20,000 rushing yards combined in their careers, which is, you know, incredible amounts. And these two are going to look to punch the ball up the middle all day long, you know, the 1-2 punch together. But they also drafted Perine, who they're going to bring in on more outside zone runs and look to get his speed out to the edge and in open space. Now, the main question around the Jets going forward is the quarterback. Sam Darnold does look to be a very good player, and as I mentioned, he did better in Gase's scheme in 2019 than he did in his rookie season in 2018. He actually threw for 3,000 yards. He broke that barrier in 2019, and he threw for 2 more touchdowns, 2 less interceptions. So he was very productive. There's a lot of upside to Darnold's game. He's really good outside the pocket. He throws on the run well, but he has got a slight problem when it comes to fumbling. His ball security is fairly weak. He had 11 fumbles in 2019, and as a team, you just really can't afford to keep turning the ball over that often. If you want to be a winning team, if you want to do things, you know, you have got to keep the ball. So the Jets had the 5th worst offensive line in 2019, but this is an area that they've kind of looked to target. They brought in Mekhi Becton from the draft from Louisville. He was one of the best tackles this year, but I would say that to really be a good offensive line, you need to see more investment there. I've not seen enough change in personnel on the offensive line to go, yeah, you know what, the Jets are going to have a good solid O-line this year, and I would expect to see Sam Darnold on his back quite a lot again in 2020. So on the defensive side of the ball, the front 7 were extremely disappointing in 2019, and you know, it says a lot when your strong safety has the second highest amount of sacks in the team, and that's 4 more than any defensive lineman, and you know, that is quite a bit of a shocking stat. Their star draft pick, Quinnen Williams, wasn't on the field an awful lot. He was hurt, but even when he was on the field, he wasn't really an impact player. He had 2.5 sacks in 13 games. But their linebacker Jordan Jenkins led the way. He was a bright spark for them in 2019. And the arrival of the 2020 season sees Avery Williamson and CJ Mosley return from injury. So hopefully those two will stay fit and really add to a linebacker core that could be one of the better ones in the NFL if they all manage to stay healthy. So for the secondary, they were ranked 16th by PFF overall for the 2019 season. I would say that's fairly accurate, to be honest. They were really good at times. They gave up some big passes that they shouldn't have at other times, but on the whole, they were a pretty good secondary unit. You know, you got Jamal Adams as a standout. He had 6.5 sacks and multiple forced fumbles and passes defended, and then Brian Poole at and then you have Brian Poole at cornerback and Marcus May as the other safety. So those players kind of did work really well together and form a good secondary, but where they lacked was another really good cornerback on the other side from Brian Poole. And this is something that they've looked to target for 2020. They brought in Pierre Desir. So we'll see how that one goes, but it should be more solid heading into 2020. So looking towards the coaches, and all of the head coaches and the coordinators, they're all entering their second year with the Jets. So I expect to see a bit more cohesion, players knowing schemes a little bit better, and probably an improvement on that side of things. offensive coordinator Darryl Loganes will be happy that he's got new receivers in. He's got Brashad Perryman, and he's also got Denzel Mims, something a little bit different to the threat that Robbie Anderson posed last season. And also defensive coordinator Greg Williams will be extremely happy to have his two main linebackers back, Avery Williamson and CJ Mosley, because CJ Mosley was a big name signing from the Ravens. He came from free agency, but he was a big star for the Ravens, and everyone thought that they were stupid to let him go. But he was actually injured for a large part of last season, so big things will be expected of him coming back in 2020 for the Jets. So I'd actually say that in the 2020 NFL draft, the Jets had actually one of the better drafts. They brought in Mekhi Becton, who, as I mentioned, he was one of the best tackles in the draft from Louisville. Hopefully he'll be Darnold's blindside protector for years and years to come. They also brought in Denzel Mims from Baylor. He's a great player. He makes contested catches all the time, and his run after catch ability is quality. He ran track for years. So this is something that he adds to the team. You've then got safety Ashton Davis from the University of California, who's one of the biggest sleepers from the 2020 draft class, I think, potentially because he went to Uni of California. But we'll see. He racked up some real stats there, and he adds again more strength and depth to a secondary that already looks fairly solid going into 2020. And the last point is Bryce Hall, another cornerback that they picked up from Virginia in the 5th round. He looks to be really good, and he punched well above his weight last year in terms of stats and the amount of passes that he defended, so I'd keep an eye out for him. So in free agency this year, there weren't many leavers for the Jets. The notables were Robbie Anderson, who's been very productive for them at wide receiver, and Ryan Khalil, the centre. But apart from that, there weren't really any notable leavers, but they did spend quite a bit of cap on bringing players in and re-signing. They re-signed Brian Poole, Alex Lewis, Jordan Jenkins, and they also picked up Pierre Desir, Brashad Perryman, Patrick Onwuasor, and obviously a no-brainer was to pick up Jamal Adams' 5th-year option. So hopefully the Jets will hope that they'll sign Jamal Adams to a longer contract after this year, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. So for 2020, again, I'm expecting a fairly mixed bag from the New York Jets. They have got a very hard schedule, so you can expect loads to come from them. I'd have to say that their floor is probably around 5-11, so a little bit worse potentially. But I'm going to set their ceiling at 9-7. I think if they win some of the tighter games that a lot of pundits are expecting them to lose, they could come out of this season with a winning record, and they could even sneak a wild card spot. So who knows? Let me know in the comments what you think the Jets will do in 2020 and who's going to be the biggest impactful player for them. So thanks to everyone that's made it to this stage of the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and also turn notifications on so you never miss a video. I'm going to be bringing out content more regularly during the lockdown period for everyone, and I hope you enjoy the videos. Let me know in the comments what you think of the videos, any way to improve them, or if you enjoy them, let me know. Until the next one.